it's Carly, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys a spoiler-free book review of Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. I am so excited to bring this book to you guys. I recently got my hands on this hardcover version of Local Woman Missing. My friend Vinny gave it to me for my birthday, so shout out to him. This is a thriller book, which, as you guys know, I've been really trying to change up my romance genre books for something more edgy, just something to get my attention. So I have been doing this on a couple of my book reviews as of lately because I have been getting into more gory, intense thrillers, if you will, and some of them might be triggering for some readers. So in this book, I will say there are topics of kidnapping, murder, and doctor malpractice. So if any of those things trigger you, maybe this isn't for you. So this book is about a series of disappearances in a small town where a woman named Shelby vanishes, and then not long after that, there's another disappearance of another woman, and her name is Meredith Dickey. Now, Meredith Dickey also has a daughter named Delilah, and the mother duo go missing, and so that is also on the radar of the community, trying to figure out where all these missing women are going. And then Meredith's daughter Delilah reappears 11 years later, and that is when the investigation really deep dives into all of the other missing persons cases. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm done with my synopsis because I don't want to give you guys spoilers. I think it's pointless if I tell you what happened, then you won't read the book. When it comes to my opinion on this book, I am definitely in the middle. I watched some book reviews on TikTok before I grabbed the book, and some people loved it. A lot of people did not like it. I was a fan of it. I thought it was entertaining. However, there were some parts where I think they could have had more depth, and I'll get into that. But overall, I think it was a story worth picking up, but some people definitely have differing opinions over on TikTok. So I think the reason why this book has so many mixed reviews is because it's targeted towards a younger audience, and I think it really needs a mature audience to be able to read and comprehend everything that's going on. This book is not an easy read if you are a new reader, because the time frames and the POVs of this story are all completely different. So every chapter you open the book, it could be 11 years ago. You turn the page, it'll be like today, and a different person's POV each time. So unless you're really actively taking notes and focused on the reading, you're gonna miss a lot of valuable pieces, and there's a lot of characters. So I wouldn't recommend picking this up as a first-time reader. I would definitely recommend taking notes. I did almost for every chapter, I just took notes. Now, when it comes to the character development, I was a huge fan of the character Leo in the story. He is Delilah's brother, and it shares his point of view of having a sister that returns back to society after, going through trauma of being kidnapped. And it's interesting to hear a family member's perspective. You always get that main character's perspective, like, hey, I was taken, this happened to me, but you don't always know what the family's thinking and how they're feeling. So it was really interesting to see his point of view and what he brought to the table. With that being said, the character development with all the other characters were very, very limited and minimal. So when something dramatic would happen to these characters that would have a big part in the story, I really wasn't emotionally attached at all because they didn't do that much character development. So I was like, all right, these people died, like, okay. And I wish I had more of a reaction because they are the main characters. So I think I think Mary could have gone a little bit more in depth on those characters. But at the same time, there were a lot of characters in the book, so I understand keeping them, a little bit brief. So this book starts off intense as I don't even know what. Start off in the perspective of Delilah, and we are actually in someone's basement. Now, how many books do you know that just open up straight to the drama like that? And that is why I really was tuned in as soon as I opened the book because I got rights away. However, even though all of the action really started in the beginning, like from the jump, they started giving us juicy details and information and crazy facts. But because they did it at the beginning, I kind of felt a little bit bored at the end because they already gave us so many amazing details in the beginning, if that makes sense. However, if you are into the drama, pick it up. Pick it up. All right, y'all, and that is the end of my spoiler-free book review. I'm sorry this book review was a little bit short, but I really didn't want to give you any spoilers, so go out and pick up this book today. I recommend it. I give it a 4 out of 5 sparkles, and I will see you in my next book review. All my social medias are linked in the description below, and I'll see you in my next video. I love y'all. Bye.